Okay, everyone. Are we all in the room? No. So now, I would like all of you to stand up with all your luggage. With all your luggage. You will be moving to a different seat. Please gather all your luggage. I know your coffee cups are a bit in the way. I'm sorry. If there are comment sheets that you have not been able to deliver, please give to any facilitator. Please give to any facilitator. They will deliver it to the team later. So all participants, please have your bag in your hands, standing up. Yes, ready? And when Augusto starts to play the music, move around the room. You will be making new groups. So, music on. Yes, move around the room. Yes, move around. Stop. Shh. Okay, no sound. I want you to sit in groups of 6, except these 2 groups, 7 people. Everyone else, sit in groups of 6. Random groups. Any group is okay. 7, 7, 6 people, 6 people, 6 people, 6 people. Facilitators, please check if your group has 6 or 7 people. Facilitators checks that these 2 front have 7 people and everywhere else has 6 people. Yes, this group. How many people here? 6? Good. How many here? Ah, you have 7. Okay, so you can remain. あ、じゃあここ6で OK. Okay. How many there? How many here? 6? How many here? ここ何人? Okay, ここ6? Okay. Any table missing someone is okay? Facilitators, are there 6 people or 7 people in your group? Okay. Thumbs up. Okay, good. So, let me introduce to you my friend. Does anyone know what his name is? Yes, a circle, but in Japanese. His name is Enta-kun. Yes, say hello to Enta-kun. Yes, thank you. He was invented in one of the environmental education conferences like this. And Enta-kun, you will all be joining him later on. He's very special in a way that there is no end. That means there is no tops or bottom or right or left. And in Japan, when we say that we will be talking in closely, closely means very close. No, not like kissing, but yes. So, see? I'm sure that all of you have done workshops using big white paper, but today we will do a conversation with Enta-kun. So now I would like you all to get in a circle and find a way to balance this in between you all. Each one of you will become a leg of Enta-kun. Okay? Okay, please start. Okay, thank you. And now the facilitators will all give you each a pen. Except yellow. Any color except yellow. Please look up here. In this first group, I would like for you in 20 minutes to talk about this topic. How can we, youth, empower and mobilize our own generation as change agents for a sustainable development. As we've seen from Sally in the Global Action Program, empowering and immobilizing youth is a very big topic. But we as youth should know what's the best and the most effective way. So I would like you to come up with ideas in your own groups. And the way to use Entakun is the person who is speaking will be writing at the same time. And other people can write at any time as well. So you will all be writing as you talk. Yes? Okay, so let's start. どうぞ. 20 minutes. You can write just keywords or pictures or use Entakun in any way you want. 3 more minutes. Okay. So now, we stop. I would like you to choose in your group one person who will serve as a host and stay in the same chair. Everyone else will be moving to a new group, but the one host will be staying so that the person can explain to the new members what was being discussed. Also, that host will be making a short presentation later explaining about what has been discussed now and in the next topic. Okay? So when your host has been decided, the host, please raise your hand so that I know. Everyone else stay seated. Please let me know when the host has been decided. Okay, host? Okay, raise your hand. Raise your hand. Host, please raise your hand. Okay. Any other? Yes, 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 yes. Yes? Here? You're staying? And I think this group. I think you're trying to democratic way. Have you decided? Okay. Okay, so please listen. Please listen. Shh. Leave the pens at the table. Have the same side up. Have the same side up. not the clean side, the same side up. And everyone except the host, please go to a new table of 6 or 7 people. Thank you, hosts. And when everyone is seated, hosts, please explain or introduce to the new group what has been discussed in the first group. I will give you about 3 minutes. Yes. So please turn over Enta-kun. Please turn over Enta-kun. The next one, I will turn up. No, it will be the next slide. Okay. So next, what will we be talking about? I will have Sally read this for us.
Okay, I love the Entercon. This one is, how can we collaborate as a group to generate a bigger impact in promoting a global ESD youth movement? How can we collaborate as a group to generate a bigger impact in promoting a global ESD youth movement.
Thank you. So who are we? Who are we? Yes, we. Yes, we youth, including outside. But for today, as we have gathered all the way from all over the world to join this conference, I would like you to talk about how we can collaborate, maybe some action plans or things that we can be doing in the next few years. Okay, so I will give you about 15 minutes.
I want to do this because I'm running an event.
Nice, isn't it? Well, usually it's a bit smaller, just a bit, but we ordered it to be just a bit bigger. Yes, but it's nice.
Yeah, because you know, like World Cafe as the technique.
Yes. This is yes, very nice. Maybe we can send you the link or something.
Yeah, sure.
Because they know. Yes. Good. Thank you. try to be specific on the maybe topics that come up, maybe like the activities or the things that you want to be doing. How will you be doing it? So hosts, in 3 minutes, please be prepared to present about the 2 topics that has been covered. さんが持ってます。福田美穂さん。じゃあ準備します。じゃあファシリテーターに渡しましょうか。美穂has福田美穂 has it, and you can maybe give it to the facilitators. Yeah. Okay, I will tell her. Okay, thank you. So hosts, briefly, in about 2 minutes each, I would like you to share with the whole group about the 2 topics that has been discussed. But mainly, I am quite interested in how can we collaborate. And if you have specific ideas or things that came up, that will be great. So, which host would like to start? Okay, here.
Please hold it and I will... Mic, check, check, check. 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, and 3, 3, 3, 3. Please. It works, yeah?
I'm timing you, okay?
Yeah. Just minute and a half. Mr. Allah. Okay, let me start with the second one. How can we collaborate as a group to generate a bigger impact in promoting a global ESD? The first one is through self-commitment among the users and using social media and new technology to allow real-life interactions. So social media can be used for different purposes, but by making them to use it for real-life interaction. And the other one is when you form a group, we need to accept the diversity as an opportunity, not as a threat. So in that way, there will be close cultural learning when you form a group. It is better to make it heterogeneous than making it homogeneous so that they can share their ideas. And would you mind? And the other one is through network learning, synergy, and bigger impact. Because in order to come up, or in order to have a bigger impact, there is a network of learning among the users, so that in that aspect, they will have a big impact in promoting ESD for sustainable development. And the other one is think globally and act locally. This one is from Fiji up to Okayama. So you can find a building in Okayama. So in this case, interconnectivity is chosen as one mechanism to create a group and to generate a bigger impact. And sharing best practices among the youth can also be used as, or can be used to create a group for impact on the community. Thank you.
Okay.
Time up, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. Which group next? You can stay at your table.
Thank you. I can do the other side first. So question 1 first. Woo, watch out. the tanku is dangerous. Yeah. So mobilizing youth. Why do people want to engage with ESD? How many minutes do I have? 2. Okay. Why do people want to engage with ESD? We feel that it's a lot related to values, feeling empathy for each other and for the natural world. We start that discussion, we get people interested. It's also about having fun, being creative, getting something out of being engaged. What concerns young people and how can they get something out of the process? It can be meeting cool people, it can be learning new skills, it can be becoming more employable, it can be being financially reimbursed. Or just hopefully the joy of creating something together, I think is very powerful in people. So opening up a diverse amount of spaces where that can happen, inviting in lots of different ways, this is where we can engage youth, I think. And so, the other side. In terms of how we can collaborate together, we have an amazing amount of resources in this room and in our collective networks. The question is, how do we access those networks when we need it? And how do we do it in a simple way? We had Sally telling us about what sounds like an amazing campaign, Voices for Change, that they started 5 years ago, which never got to actually happening. So the question is, how do we can either carry that forward or find another way of having an efficient platform for sharing, where we can find the resources that we need when we need it, and also how to make that information maybe accessible to others. But I think the key is that we are so busy in our sustainability work lives that we need to think, how can I be most useful to other people, and how can they be most useful to us in the limited time that I have available? And then we also were thinking, just one more point, of specific projects that we can work towards. For example, the COP21 in Paris, December, or the UNESCO Youth meeting before that are specific things that are a good amount of time in the future to collaborate on either a social media campaign, meeting up there, doing something online, that we could decide now as a very specific thing to do together.
Well, before starting, let us tell you how we believe that we can bring a bigger impact. Like one world, one identity. That's what we believe. Win hearts, win battles, and love each other. By winning heart, we can win the battles. Well, how can we do it? Like we can do it in different ways. Well, we believe that we can create we can create a platform, or we can create one common platform through which we can bring, like we can share our ideas, not only our success stories, but also our failures. Because we can learn a lot through our failures as well. Like nobody says, I got failed because of this reason. Everyone says, I got successful because of this reason. So we'll also be sharing our failures proudly, because that makes our success an important part in our success, okay? So the other point we'll be doing, like breaking the stereotypes. Like, so my friend created it like this, like a man working in the kitchen and woman watching the TV. Well, that's what we believe, that if a woman can work in the kitchen, a man can also work in the kitchen, right? So we are about to, this is just like an example. So we will be breaking the stereotypes. I know I have a short time. Well, just turn it around. Okay, well, sorry. Well, connecting youth network across the globe, lobbying with them, lobbying with the stakeholders, that's what we believe. And yeah, together we can, from different nationalities, from different identities. Okay, turn it around. Well, so we'll go for the first one now. How our generation can become the change agent. Well, we believe that what our generation can do. This is a question. Well, and the answer is that everything. So if we can do everything, then how can we be a part of it? Well, we believed that we are still not being recognized. We are still being considered. If a 60 years man standing here saying, well, I believe this, you'll be saying, wow, he has some experience. But if the same thing you hear from a young guy, you say, come on, he's just a young man. How do you know him? Okay, I guess my time is over. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay.
I will take it because I'm not. You're not marginalized. I said let the guys hold the paper. No, guys, both. Thanks. Because otherwise I get the excuse that I should do it the other way. All right. What we discussed regarding empowering our own generation were 4 points. First, we said that learning by experience is very important. So we need to exchange our knowledge among sectors, among people, among institutions, and in combinations between companies and education. Second is that we need youth-to-youth training, youth-to-youth support, and youth-to-youth mentorship, because young people can inspire other young people and can help other young people to become better in their own way of acting. That leads to the third, that we need inspirational role models and inspirational stories of young people like you who are very good in their own way of acting in their own community, also come here to see other stories and then go back to your own communities, just like we all do, and we provide also inspiration for others. Last point is that we need interdisciplinary cooperation, that we need to work among disciplines, don't work in our own disciplines, but also try and look what other people are doing in fields that are not our own common background. Second question, how to have a bigger impact? It was already mentioned, but think local, what your own problems are, how you can solve that, but try and act on it in a global scale in our globalizing society. Second is that we really need a place to share best practices and continue dialogue and support by open data, by sharing all our good practices with each other and not be afraid that others steal your idea. But support others in giving your idea or good idea also a place somewhere else. Third is that we need to think and dare to think outside the system. We currently live in a system, my time is up, last sentence. We currently live in a system and not necessarily everything that makes a system is correct. And if we are young people, the system needs to support our whole lives. So why don't we discuss the way the system works and the way the system shapes us? Thank you.
So for our first question, how can we empower and mobilize our generation as change agents for sustainable development? We've realized that there is no one-size-fits-all approach because young people have different pressing priorities that might not have anything to do with sustainable development. And so we thought of a multi-pronged approach, and this is just really a summary of the stuff that we've discussed. So we thought of a multi-pronged approach. And one of the first things we've recognized that is challenging is that young people our age is very difficult to kind of reorient their values to match ESD and the values that we're trying to promote re-ESD. However, we can start at the younger kids, and it's easier to imprint that sort of values on their brains and to sort of get them to grow in that respect. For people our age, we thought about resocialization, and we can do this through a number of agents, through churches, through different communities and those organizations. Government could help to promote jobs and entrepreneurial initiatives in ESD-related activities, so green jobs, social entrepreneurship, and jobs that are innovative and that promotes creativity. To get youth involved in sustainability, we have to recognize that we have to incentivize and we have to sexify. We have to sexify because you have to make it attractive so that they can get involved. Also, at some point, you have to realize that because of the priorities, then you'll have to involve sustainability in iteration. So it's like dripping. You get a common platform where you can meet with them and meet with their issues. So, what about the second question?
Shortly, second question.
Well, we talk about how to maintain the already online communication that we have, and we just thought of making it more methodic, so sharing the resources of each of our activities in a more methodic way so they are easily accessible. So, and not only sharing the resources in that way, but also focusing on kind of like a bank of problems and solutions. So whenever one of us is doing an ESD activity, okay, I have this problem with this, someone can help me, and then, okay, oh, actually I did that last year and this was really useful. Or I know this person working on this, so here's the email. So if we can communicate in this way as well and share our problems and possibly solutions, would be great. Then also someone proposed some kind of regional hubs, because it's easier because of geographical distances. If we could start also communicating more in terms of regions and perhaps making meetings, workshops, and then take that forward later on and cooperate more intra-regions, no? And also, we thought of this kind of online book of 50 ESD activities or stories. So if we can commit ourselves, one of us, to write one page of our ESD activity and couple it with anecdotes and advice for others and also infographics, it's something very, very geared towards youth. It could be amazing to have an online small book documenting 50 amazing stories and advices for the people that couldn't be here before. So, yes.
Thank you. Thank you for the very specific idea. Good. Next. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Okay, we're starting with the first question. How can we empower and mobilize our own generation as change agents for sustainable development? Whatever we want to say here, you have to apply it to your own context. So we start with peer learning, get the required knowledge and skills, because you cannot go and empower people if you don't have the skills and knowledge that you need. Constitute youths into registered groups. This will give them the legal background to function. Coaching, mentoring, and counseling. Skill development. Research into behavior change. This is very important because each region has its own behavioral changes for youth. So we need to get into these trends to be able to plan and implement the actions that are going to work. Incentives. Raising children, ESD transversally incorporated into all learning processes. Virtual websites. So these are things that we can constitute online to give people information. Celebrate and empower diversity. Bring a role model. So sometimes you need to bring, for example, you take people who have successfully implemented some activities and you are able to bring them to public space and for them to highlight what they did so that people can copy examples from them. For the second question, how can we collaborate as a group to generate a bigger impact in promoting a global ESD youth movement? Principally, we need to have one vision. And also, we need to create an online platform which is collective and which includes everyone.
Short.
And then we need a brand, we need a mission statement, we need our goals, indicators, and the timeline. We have to give ourselves a timeline. How much time are we going to use to get to these particular objectives? For example, we might have a commitment for 5 years. Are we able to respect that within 5 years? And then we also need to develop partnership programs. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So to answer the first question on empowering and mobilizing, we first looked at the group and said, when was the last time you felt inspired and motivated to change? And so harvesting the wisdom of the group, we heard really great stories that talked about achieving voting success in a country, so seeing how the power was to be involved in part of a bigger change that had success. We heard about role models. So in Uganda, is that right? The role model of having a prime minister that was acting as an enlightened leader who was also a young person. So role models to inspire youth. We heard about that how you can be motivated by seeing the tangible results of what you're doing, and whether it's as simple as somebody coming up and showing gratitude, or seeing somebody stand up as a result of the work you're doing, how that is an important motivator. We also heard stories about sharing experiences being part of the solution, that sense of belonging, that youth want to belong to something. So who is our tribe? what do we belong to, what's our identity. Flipping over, thank you. And then in looking at collaboration, whereas down here is something that Felix prepared earlier. If you want to know about the answers to the question, he wrote his PhD on it. But what we talked about there was this movement between formal and informal collaborations, loose, tight collaborations, but also asking that question, when do we want to collaborate and when do we maybe want to communicate, cooperate, or coordinate? Thank you. And so knowing when to do that, because there is a whole range of networks out there. Around the circle, these represent the 50 people, the 50 kick-ass sustainability leaders in the room, so this is a pretty good collaboration network. There was a talk about kind of exchange and knowing what our peers want, so creating deep relationships so that we could actually have meaningful exchanges and collaborate on that basis.
Thank you.
Hello. Okay, so regarding the empowerment of the generation, the basic or the core concepts that we have is first, we need to make sure or to motivate youth to believe that they have the power to change the world for the better and in a sustainable way. How it is done is through hands-on action, through passion and drive, and releasing the inner power within. Then through connecting people with the technologies they are using every day in order to enhance their learning experience, connecting them with the main actors like youth with local communities and government to work and collaborate together, connecting youth with the youth in the form of peer-to-peer learning and collaboration and co-creation. In this way, certain peers can become role models for others, and in this way also empower them, move them forward. And these, let's say, leaders of the community can share their best practices, how they achieved their success, their results, and this will motivate others to follow them. And flipping to the collaboration to generate a bigger impact. Yes, again, talking about connections, connecting basically the diversity. We have different languages, different instruments, approaches, and so on. This can happen, again, as a global platform and using the social media, connecting ideas through social media and basically managing conversation. So if you like what has been presented, please comment below and like the Hassan's comment there. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry. Any other group? Is it all done? Yes? Okay, good. Thank you. And fortunately, we have Sally with us, so maybe I want a few comments from her.
Sure. Thank you for sharing all of your, I actually can't remember the name of these circles. You'll have to remind me. Entakun. I love it. The passion, inspiration, and energy amongst you is intoxifying. I just hope you can take this into the main conference and forward many, many, many years. But of course, part of this passion, inspiration is you being together. So it's important whether you're physically together or not physically together, you have each other to draw on. I would love you quickly just to write on your little bit of the circle how many years experience you have personally. If you can just all write a number in front of you. Oh, sorry, experience in ESD-related work or initiatives. just quickly. And then one person at the table add it all up. Okay, write down the total somewhere. Okay, we have 28 years at this table. How many years at this table? What else do we have? Totals? $39.5 years over here, 51 over here, 54 years, 50 years, 48 years, 24 years, and 26 years. I'm no mathematician, but that is hundreds of years. And 50 at the back table there. Over 300 years of experience between you, and you've still got half your experience to go. So rather than comment on individual initiatives or projects that you talked about, I think they all sound fantastic. A word of advice would be don't commit to any of them right now, because you need to strategically really think about what you have time to do, how much volunteer capacity you have, and what you're going back to as well. In itself, the networks you make at this conference and with your peers is a huge initiative in itself. I would suggest that perhaps you get back together on Tuesday or Wednesday next week at the main conference all together and have a think about what else you've done in the last few days since then, what ideas you had now, what you've got on the bus, going to Nagoya and in the main conference, and then come together and think, what's realistic and what do we want to do? So thank you for sharing your ideas.
Very well. Well, was that fun? Yeah? The drawing in the Entakun? Fun? That was fun. Yeah. So, now the facilitators will take Entakun from you, but you can hug them later. If you want, if you love Entakun so much. Take pictures with Entakun and all that. So we're gonna do another movement in the room, and for our closing wrap up, we're gonna make a big circle. So what I'll ask you to do is to move your chairs. We're gonna make a big circle of 50 something people all around this room, and your belongings can be in the outer space outside of the circle. Yeah? So let's do that. Let's move. We don't do that. Oh, we can do our own. So let's. So let's arrange the circle. Let's see. So a great circle is a place where we can see everyone. We can see everyone without moving our heads too much. Just enough. Very nice. How is it going? 50 PO in the circle. Are we ready? Dun, 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 dun. So, thank you. Are you all? So, yep. So anyone on that one? So we can take the chairs that we don't need out of the circle too. A bag is not a participant. Yes. Yeah? So who's not here? Oh. So maybe we can move that and close a little. So can everyone see everyone else's just by moving your head a bit like this? Because if not, we can open up the circle a little. Because I can't see a little that side. We can move this. Yeah? Very well. So we're going to do our wrap-up session now. It's not a session, a wrap-up moment now, let's say. And just a couple of things. One is so everything that we've just done in the last day and a half will feed the youth statement that is going to be printed and ready for you to take a look at the end of the day of tomorrow. So you're actually going to receive a printed version in your room. So when you get back from your excursion, you're going to be you have something to read before you go to bed. So it's really nice. And tomorrow there's going to be a group of people doing the drafting work, putting it all together. But what we did yesterday was to gather the beginning of it that relates to the vision and the values we wish to promote. Then today in the morning, the work was on the plenary sessions and recommendations, the 3 key points, and also some people wrote a bit more that will help the drafting members to develop a little bit tomorrow. And just now on Entakun, we looked at mobilizing youth. There's a youth mobilization, so that will be also added at the end of the youth statement. Yeah? The drafting committee will obviously, they were part of the conversations, so they will respect what's been content-wise created by you as a group, and the request is that everyone will trust the drafting committee to put the words and choose wisely the words that they think are best to manage everything that was created and said. Yeah? So we're going to trust this group of people, and that was one way that we created so we could have more conversations and more time, because time was short anyway, but there was a bit more time, so we didn't need to write everything in detail. That will be done tomorrow. So we would like to thank this group of people. So I'd like just to acknowledge them. Who's in the draft committee could just stand up so we can just take a look. Thank you for your work. There will be missing excursions tomorrow to do this work. Thank you very much. So they will be, so we trusting them as our convening all this information into the 4 pages that will be printed to the main conference in Aichi, Nagoya. So a request for all of you is you're going to receive that, you're going to read that. This will be also proofread for English later on and then printed as a final version so you have copies to hand to other people during the conference. Obviously, they will receive officially that youth statement as well. One of you that will be appointed, UNESCO will have an open plenary or something of the sort as a welcoming plenary. And one of you will be actually appointed from UNESCO to be on that plenary. We don't know which one of you, so it's going to be a surprise. And the basis of that, so they're going to choose based on the diversity of the group on that plenary. So it will be basically like region, gender, and so they're going to choose someone to mix it up with whoever is already there. So we don't know who that will be, and we will trust that person, whoever it is, from the 50 people who will be representing all of us on that plenary. And the request is for everyone else, obviously, including that person, that you disseminate what is there as this will be the youth statement, the statement of everyone that was here and also representing, well, in a way, stakeholders for ESD youth in general all over the world. So that you can disseminate that during the conference in Nagoya, during the workshops afterwards, and so you can be the speakers of that declaration as well. In order to kind of represent consent on, so what we've seen here commented on was the key points that will be transformed into the whole text, and we would like to do something that express the consent of this whole group towards what was up there. So it's kind of a showing our trust into what was there. So one way of doing that is we're going to do a movement consent, which is sort of like this. Request is you all stand up. Just stand up. And as a sort of a symbol is when I say, well, we'll count to 3, and then the idea is if you consent, so to ask for your consent, if you consent to what is written there as a statement representing youth for the World Conference that's coming, the request is that you give a step into the circle. Yeah? So that will be a way of expressing consent for all the work that we've done representing all of you. Yeah? So on the count of 3, we can do that. 1, 2, 3. Lovely. Thank you very much. This is just to show that we're on the boat all together too, representing that. We can bow the Japanese bow now. How would they say? Great work? How would they say?
お疲れ様でした。
お疲れ様でした。And we can sit down again. Nice. So you all receive a card like this. It's an A4 card. So in order to check out, so when we arrived, they did a little check-in, like as you do in a hotel. You arrive, show who you are, and say hi, tell a bit about a story. Now we're going to check out. So we're going to go out of the hotel, out of the conference, and off to something else. Yeah? So in order to check out from this, to move out from this, we will ask you to, we'll have a 2-minute private, your own time, to write on the back of this card. So this you take, it's just for you. Yeah, it's your own, like, personal declaration to yourself. To write whatever you want that helps you to check out. So what you're feeling, your hopes for Aichi Nagoya, your hopes for when you're back home, reflections, insights for the last couple of days. So anything that you feel that should be close to you, something that will be the summary of couple of days together. And we're not going to share specifically this. We have a time for sharing, but you don't need to specifically share what's in here. That's just for you, right? So just 2 minutes. We're going to have like a silent moment so you can do your own thing. Yeah? Okay. So more 30 seconds so we can finish. Okay, great. So I'm going to explain what's coming next and you can finish your sentence. So this was declaration or whatever you decided to write is something just for you, so you can remind yourself of this time. But we would like to hear, we didn't have like a plenary space mainly because of time, like we decided to have mostly small groups and presentations, so we could hear more your voices. But we would like to have a chance to hear on plenary a bit of everyone. And so what we have is 30 seconds each, which will be like a good 25 minutes already. But we would like to give the chance for this 30 seconds, so you can say something, anything that you want. You can be inspired or coming from what you just wrote, or it can be anything else that you want to, or it can be an invitation or just a comment or feedback or anything that you want to do in 30 seconds. We just want to give a chance so we can hear your voice, and I'm sure there's going to be moments where you're going to not only, so as Sally said, there's the bus, there's the visiting the excursions, and then there's Aichi Nagoya. There's going to be a space just for this group at the end of Aichi Nagoya as well. So there's going to be more space for you to talk. Just want to finish this day, the ESD Youth Conference, with the 30 seconds of each one of you. And the way this is going to work is I'm going to pass the mic around. So it's actually going to start here. I'm sorry. We're gonna go around. So don't. It's just 30 seconds, so you can just say a little but very deep. So you don't need to be worried about it. So you don't need to think much about it. Just when it comes to you, it will come to you. When the mic comes to you, it will come to you. So instead of us ringing a bell or saying 30 seconds over everything else, so I'm going to ask whoever is just before the person. So Nami will speak for 30 seconds, and I'll be here with this little stopwatch. It's my old iPhone that doesn't work here in Japan anyway. So you can start, and when it's 30 seconds or close to 30 seconds, or like I say 25 seconds, you can give just a little. Now it's about to finish. So she will know when it's time, and then she can go give the microphone to the next person, and I'll give the stopwatch to this person, and we're going to go around. Is that all right? So you don't need to scream. It's just a little, hey, it's time. Okay? So 30 seconds, whatever you want, just like a little refresh on our good checkout to hear your voice. All right? Can we do it?
I'm Nami from Tokyo, and I'm so happy to meet you all, the 50 participants coming from all over the world. And I just learned a lot from this conference. And I only think about myself or what I'm doing right now or what I'm believing in the past. But I should also think and add knowledge and practices that I learned from all of you. All right. Is that finishing? Okay. So thank you so much.
I'm man from Eastern Africa, Ethiopia. So, birthday on the sky for the first time with Emirates, meeting the world through the youths, visiting and experiencing Japan, focusing on practices, not on promises. Thank you very much.
Kishore from Sri Lanka. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the organizers and all the staff who have put endless hours in bringing all these 50 youths from all over the world. Learning from my peers, their success stories and their projects, it has just motivated me even more to think of new ways, new innovative ways to work on towards the goal of sustainable development. I hope to see you all sometime soon in future. I know we have few more days to say goodbye, but just that this conference is over. Right, thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Dochka from Mongolia, and first of all, thank you for organizing this great event. And I'm very happy and glad to meet all of you from different countries. And I'm very filled with good energy, and I'm encouraged by all of the activities that you're doing. And I learned that there's a lot to learn for me, and there's a lot to do for me. And I hope to see you all in the near future also. Thank you.
Hello, Felix. I took away that I learned really a lot, and there is still so much more to learn for me. I took away a lot of confidence again, and inspiration that we are all on the right path. And again, an increased level of urgency that what we are working towards is really a big challenge that we need to address, and we are still doing already quite some things, but we really need to scale up our actions.
I'm Ingrid from Norway. Sometimes I feel like everything is really difficult, like I'm nervous, like I'm worried, like I'm not doing enough, like I'm not doing it right, like what if it doesn't work, like what if it just is a big failure and blows up in my face, what if nobody likes it? But in the end, you just have to do it. So I try to tell myself this, just do it, and something will come of it. So that's also what I've really been taking from all of you. You're doing so many amazing things that are really inspiring me. So just do it.
Hello, I'm Mona from Lebanon. The main question on my mind here that gets me reflecting is how sustainable are events like these? I'm not just talking about in terms of the prospects for us in the future, in terms of networking and what goes on in the future, and the networking and the activities the strategies that develop from this, but also environmentally. I mean, I can't help but think of the resources and the efforts and time human resources and financial, the paper, everything that's spent here and invested here and the funding, and wonder how relevant this is to ESD and how we can make this investment worthy.
Iman from Palestine. Actually, what I want to hear is like sharing and introducing to the new knowledge from everyone is over here. Also to the new models and approaches to the education towards sustainable development. Like this is like why we are here.
Hi everyone, I am Haruna Cham from the Gambia. I'm very much excited to be part of this conference. And then coming all the way from the Gambia, it was like a nightmare coming to here because my first flight has to be cancelled because of some other reasons that were beyond my control. But actually, I am of the challenge that we are participants representing the entire world, and I would, for that matter, have to put the challenge forward to myself and to everyone to push all that we discussed down here when we go back home to our various destinations, so that we can also at least help others understand what we have learned down here. Thank you.
Hello, I did like a kind of a recipe of how to cook a really good ESD. So my ingredients that I'm taking with me, it's an H3 approach: head, heart, and hands, passion, commitment, shared value, working together, scale up, context, a lot of innovation, fun, being graphic, a lot of graphic material, technology, and hopefully to reject all models.
I'm Daniela from Argentina. I'd like to take this chance to thank you again for hosting us and having such a wonderful time here. We have been giving a unique opportunity for youth worldwide, and I do think that even though today's youth conference is coming to an end, it's only the beginning, because we're going to go back home and we're going to multiply everything we have learned here and share it more.
Thank you. I am from Thailand, Matcha. I'm very glad that I be here with all of you, and I learned a lot from diversity of the people and diversity of works. And I want to say the word that I believe. I believe that I can change the world, and I did, and I'm doing it. Thank you.
Hello, Tarek from Bahrain. In my tradition, we have a saying that the number of breaths you have in life is measured and obviously limited. So just want to thank you all for using that precious breath that you have to do the work that you do and for choosing to be here. Thank you.
I'm someone you all know from a country you all know. Well, for the first time in my life, 52 countries laughed together with me. So that gave me a new confidence that if I can bring smile on 52 countries, then I can bring the smile on the faces of the whole world. So I'm moving ahead with a new confidence.
Usam Hussein from Italy and Jordan. Well, I wanted first of all to thank all of you, because even if I spoke only to, not all, to all of you, but only to some of you, but I managed to learn a lot from the experience and from the differences that we had. And so I'm looking forward to speak to the others that I haven't spoken to. And I also wanted to thank all the Tomodachis and Shinyu that I met in these days. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Naila from Oman. Well, in the past few days, it was very inspiring to meet most of you. I hope in the coming few days I'll get to know those who I didn't get to know in the last 2 days. It's amazing to see those little differences each one is making, and it adds up to one big difference. All the sharing of experience and the new friendships was totally worth the time and effort. And thank you for organizing. It was one of the most amazing organizing events I've ever been to. Thank you so much again.
Umeda, Tajikistan. I have also heard a lot of practices and experience, but I want to point one thing that I found one applicable good practice for a problem which exists in my country. This is the lack of teachers in remote states, because of the lack of teachers in remote states, the children have no chance to educate themselves. And I found out the practice of our colleague in Sri Lanka, the TV education, perfect, and I think it will be possible for us to apply this practice in Tajikistan. Thank you.
Okay, hi, I'm Taichil from Japan. Yeah, this experience inspired me a lot. Yeah, your solution is really totally unique, and yeah, certainly, yeah, it's really impressive, and I can reflect your idea to my activities. And furthermore, we are already leader in local community, but furthermore, I really hope for the collaboration after this conference. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Anna from the UK. I think that one of the things I've taken from here is that back home often you come up against a lot of obstacles, and I'm sure everyone feels the same. And sometimes you feel quite downtrodden by everything that's going on, and it's quite nice to, well, it's not quite nice, it's great to be in a room full of people who are really inspired and enthusiastic about what I'm doing and what each other are doing, because it kind of builds momentum a bit. And I think we've all had some really great discussions, but I think we all need to make sure that those discussions don't just kind of drift off, and that we all take positive actions when we leave, either as a group or as the individuals. Thank you.
Siebrunner from the Netherlands. I have three feelings. First, I'm really happy to be with 50 such inspiring young people. It also makes me sad knowing that at home most people and governments and institutions really don't care a shit about what we're doing here. Third is that I really feel empowered that we can make the change positively, able to initiate it on a local scale, and able to feel it, to feel what we're doing, that it's important, and that we can inspire others so we can make it important to others. Thank you.
Hello, I am Vivek Trivedi from India. And as far as my experience regarding this conference is concerned, it's inspiring for me to be part of this global conference. And I just want to share one thing, since 1989, I remember I could recall the time when I was school and first I read UNESCO in my life. So I could relate, my childhood to, this 34 years. So thank you.
Hello everyone, Irina from Russia. I hope I will meet you in the coming days, all of you. But I just wanted to thank you because you are reminding me that we are all very, very similar, and that I'm not alone, and that we are not just 52, we are actually more than 5,000 at least, just those who knew about this conference and who applied. And there are many, many, many more others, and I know it feels really sad at the times and lonely, but this feeling that I'll get here, I will carry it on for a long time. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sohe. I'm from Tunisia. I'm very glad that I'm here with you all. I literally learned from each and every one of you, and I can't wait to see words we talked and things that we discussed put into an action. And I also can't wait to implement some projects that I heard here back home and solve some issues that I was wondering how to solve. Thank you so much.
Hello everybody, I'm Abbas from Iraq. I feel privileged to be among 52 young leaders that has been acknowledged by the conference organizers. And at the same time, I feel I'm in trouble because this is a lot of responsibility you have to work on when you go back home. And every time I go back to another conference to out of the country, I feel I want to go back as soon as possible because I feel homesick. But this time, actually, I'm eager to go back, not because I feel homesick, because I think that, oh my God, I have a lot of to deliver. And what I learned from this conference is that education sustainable development make me that learning is not like a necessity, it's fun. Thank you. And arigato very much.
My name is Muhammad. I'm from Yemen. I'm really honored to meet each one of you. It was an amazing event in Okayama. Actually, I am so happy that we are going to be change agents in our communities. That's what I'm hoping from every one of you, that when you come back to your communities, you implement what you have learned. You implement what you have experienced from every one of you. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I am Jody and I'm from Jamaica.
working in sustainability can be very difficult and frustrating. And I remember when I was working back home, after 2 years, I just got really frustrated because I felt like it wasn't impactful. The government wasn't making the promises and try to engender the goals and initiatives that they promised they would. And so I escaped and I went to complete my master's, and I thought that that's the pathway I need to take and maybe I would be refreshed. But this conference have done for me what I thought a year of sustainability would have done. It have revived my spirit. It have really strengthened and inspired me to continue in sustainability. And I just want to make one last request, that everyone just stand and make a round of applause for all the organizers, all the observers, the note takers, for the citizens, for the kids who made the cup for us. Just stand and give yourself a round of applause, even if you've never been appreciated for what you've done in sustainability.
I'm Isis from Honduras, and for me this is a unique opportunity because, yes, I've been to many different conferences, international, etc., but it's almost always within my own field. And in this case, I met people working in conservation of sea turtles, or working on corporate responsibility, or working on online training. Fields completely different from mine, but in the end, we share the same values, similar values, and even challenges and passion. And the only thing is that it went too fast, and I couldn't talk to some of you, so I hope that when I come back home, I can reflect and have time to get in contact and share more of our experiences, because I'm sure I'm missing a lot from not talking to some of you already. But thank you for for the inspiration you gave me as well.
Hi, I'm David from Colombia. First of all, I want to say thank you to Japan, all Japanese, for such a great hospitality. You are great. Second, I think that, sustainable development, this is not a game. I think we're having fun here, but we should take it really seriously. And I understand when we see our governments home, they don't care that much sometimes about these concepts, but someday, 15 years, 10, 20 years, they're going to leave those chairs, right? And we have the best opportunity here to either to take those positions or to encourage people and empower them to be like in those positions and that they could promote whatever we're trying to agree here. So basically, I would say yeah, we're having fun, but let's go back home. Let's take this seriously. We're doing the right thing to do, basically, and we have now like a global support. 52 countries, same age, and okay, so that's what I want to say.
Hi everyone, Manas from Ecuador and from USA. We had an opportunity yesterday to talk in groups of 2 or 3 about our lives, our experiences. That sort of open, frank conversation about who we are is something that deeply inspired me. I have a sort of responsibility learning about everyone's voices and experiences, a responsibility of taking those voices and continuing to listen to them as I move forward as a professional. I haven't met all of you, and so I'd like to invite everyone over the next few days to talk to me, and I'd like to talk to everyone as we go forward, so that we can continue, taking our voices with us as we move forward into the future.
Besides all the gratitude that has been spoken, I would really love to be grateful for the serious attempt of making this a more participatory process, that we really had the chance to really see each other and really talk to each other. In many conferences, this doesn't happen. And I think the moments we had in this space were very important because we had this chance. And it's a great attempt, and I'm really happy with it. And like some people express, not feeling lonely is very meaningful to me, because I feel isolated sometimes in China, trying to do a Brazilian doing this work there. And I feel supported, and I see all of you, and I'd love to share more stories and telling your stories wherever I am. Thank you.
Mahmoud from Egypt. I would like to share the gratitude for all of you for the openness that you've shown and sharing that we've all been experiencing together in the past day and a half or 2 days. And that's what makes it as unique as it was, coming into the conversations with open hearts. Coming to the conference, I was thinking that how it would be a gathering for the leaders of tomorrow, and but listening to all the stories that have been, all the work that was happening in all the countries by you, I would say that we're the leaders of today with the work that we're doing. Yes, it comes for, as David was saying, as Abbas was saying, it's falling on our shoulders. And in a way, we are the ones that we've been waiting for, that we've been hearing about, that we have the responsibility to carry it forward. Going back to our countries, I want us all to make sure that we know that the network still exists, and we can all rely on each other. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Zanella from St. Kitts and Nevis, and those of you who have not met me, that's the very small dot on the map in the Caribbean, but that does not mean that we're not significant and what we do isn't significant. And it was so interesting for me over the past few days to understand that just like us, you guys face challenges even though you might be bigger, and you also have something that we have in common is that we all are inspired by the small things and the impact that we make. And so I just want to encourage everyone here to continue the community and the network, and to continue to share your stories and to continue to share your failures so that we can support each other and encourage each other in those times when there's no one else around to do that.
Hi everyone, I'm Kristen from Peru. First of all, I want to thank you, thank the organizers for the opportunity to be here. Thank you in particular because, as you might know, my special situation of traveling so far with my daughter has been very hard work. So thank you, Tatsuru, for that, and thank you to the Goy Peace Foundation for helping me develop myself and support this, participate in this event while also trying to be as best as a mom as I can. And well, just to give an idea, I really would not. Just please, let's continue working together. Do I have time? No, I don't have time. If we can really develop concrete actions and do stuff, if anybody wants to talk with me after the event, let's start joining efforts and let's really start doing things. Thanks.
Bonsoir tout le monde. Je m'appelle Monsieur Hilary Ewangide du Cameroon. I'm very, very grateful to be here today, and I want to thank specifically the ministry because I almost did not come to this conference because I was rejected at the airport. But finally, they did everything to make me come here, and I'm so grateful for that. I also want to say to everybody that we have come to the end of talking to ourselves and talking to each other at the same time. Now it's time for action. Please let's go home and take practical measures to implement all what we have said here today. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, my name is Philip from Uganda. I'm so humbled for the opportunity to meet each and every one of you. I've discovered a lot of new approaches and data-driven insights that have made me a stronger professional, and I believe that I'm going to leave here a different person. And thank you to the organizers, thank you to the Japan government. And I just want to encourage you that as we leave here, let's go out with the same energy and be able to make a difference in the lives of almost 1.8 billion youths that we are representing here today. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Leah from Canada. I feel really inspired by all the amazing projects that you're all doing, and I think I realized how limited I am by the limits of my own perspective and interacting with the same people on a daily basis. So to step outside of those zones where I'm more comfortable and being able to be exposed to new perspectives and new challenges that people are facing has really broadened my outlook, and also made me more conscious of how I can raise awareness for the issues that you're facing within my country and within my community.
Hello, everyone. I'm Stefan from the Caribbean. I feel very privileged, but yet honored to be here, and also humble to be here. Over the past couple of days, I have gained inspiration, I've gained knowledge, and I think most importantly, I've gained friendship. I would also like to thank the youth participants from Japan for your great hospitality. I'd like to thank UNESCO as well for your great hospitality. Thank you.
I believe that what is at stake is huge. And I also believe that the opportunity that sits in front of us is also huge, to truly step into what it means to be a global citizen and be connected by one joining force. I hold that there is nothing else that I would do with my life right now other than commit myself fully to this. And as with Stefan, I feel deeply honored to be walking with each and every one of you here towards this vision that we hold. And so I just want to renew my commitment in front of you, my partners in sustainability leadership, to do everything I can to facilitate and catalyze this shift towards a future and towards a more beautiful world that our hearts know is possible.
Hi everyone, I'm Maddie from the US. I have just had a great time, and I had no idea I was going to be selected for this, so I'm so thankful that this could happen. And just sitting in this circle, I've been met with so many smiles just as I've been looking around, and that's been so wonderful to feel so welcome. So thank you, and for those who I haven't spoken with yet, let's make that happen in the next week. And if any of you are ever in Michigan or the US or LA, please come and say hi, because I want to keep talking with you all.
Yeah, thank you. For me, Okayama has been about bridging cultures, sharing ideas, and being completely human. I think that when you work with people who are together in sync and share the same vision, it's like being in love. Differences fade away and understanding thrives. And I think that's what is manifested here. Thank you.
I want to say thank you for all. And actually, this is a very big challenge to me, and many sweats inside of my hand. And but everyone is very amazing, and I respect all of you and your practice. And so let's keep connecting. And I think it's not so easy, but let's keep in touch. Thank you.
I am Zhu from Madagascar. So I want to thank all of the organizers to permit me to given me the chance to be here. It is my first time to Japan. So I want to thank everyone to sharing her or his experience, and thinking about my poor country. It is sure that when I go home, I will share the experiences that I found during this conference.
Hi everybody, I'm Sophie from Fiji. I'm so humble and so honored to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be part of such a great, diverse group of amazing people. To all the staff, to all the facilitators, and to all the observers, thank you so much for making us feel so welcome, for bringing us here today and making this event happy and a great one. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Konnichiwa. Alex from Mega from Moldova here. And okay, let's do it. So not many will see, but I will explain. So first of all, thank you for this first experience in Japan. Like, this is like such a very nice and cute country. It's like everything is so cartoonish, like in anime, you know, like, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's like so awesome. And for all this traveling, visiting other cities, so also a lot of discovery and exploration, and also for the opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity to giving you a little geography lesson about that there is Moldova in this world, and it exists. But generally about the conference, yes, a very huge output is a lot of connections now established and soon to be established, a lot of ideas coming out of these connections, and hopefully there will be a lot of collaborations emerging from this event, that it will not stay just an event, but baby step towards something greater, and this environmental sustainability with the, for example, the documents to be released, the individual projects to be, let's say, established, and so on. And so with this one, indeed, I invite all of us to collaborate, to share, and thank you for what you do, for existing, for making this world beautiful and such a cute place. Domo arigatou.
Thank you. Well, first, I want to say thank you for today, because now I feel that we started. So I wouldn't say thank you for everything, because it's still 1 week to go. After today, I feel that I'm part of the group, and I really like the fact that we shared our vision, we talked about our recommendations, and we have something on the paper. Well, tomorrow you have the difficult task to put it and so that it looks nice. But then for me, after today, I'm expecting from everyone and also from myself that we will stay as a group also during the conference, because that's the place where we have to put our words into action and hopefully coordinate among each other, make sure that the other groups listen to what we have to say as young people, and make sure that we get the governments and whoever there is present there on the conference to commit as well, and to commit for sure for the next action plan on ESD. And this is a really big thing, also starting from ourselves and our own commitment, and then making sure that through this conference that is following and through these next steps that we will take as a group here, that we can have a vision afterwards, which is much more clear about what we want to do and how we want to do it after, and in what way we can continue to cooperate. So just a little reminder also from myself and for everyone that I'm looking forward to work with you in the next 7 days, because that's very strategic, and then also looking forward to work with you in the future as well.
Hello, my name is Fumi from Nigeria. I just want to say that I'm really challenged to be with everyone. I said this today in our small group meeting, that it's inspiring, but you know, sometimes we get complacent when we reach a milestone or when we do something awesome. We feel like, okay, we can now rest, but then you come among such a group and you realize, there's still so much to be done. So I'm really challenged, and I'm going to take up the challenge when I go back to do all that I need to do to keep pushing forward. And I'd like to say a big thank you to everyone for being so pleasant. Everyone's just like so cool. It's really nice. Like it's such a good group. It's an easy group to work with. Like all the comedians from Pakistan, and just like everyone's just so awesome. I really like it. And all the organizers, the facilitators, thank you so much. Thanks for the extra effort, the food. Yesterday night, I was stuffed with sushi, and I swore never to eat sushi in my life. And then this morning, I saw sushi, and I was like, oh God, it's so good. The food has been awesome, and I'm looking forward to the excursion tomorrow to see your country and to see your culture and to learn more about Japan and, to go into the World Conference for next week.
Hello, I'm Talent from Zimbabwe. And two things. One, I'm just a little anxious because I know that in as much as we shared some really interesting ideas on what we are working on in our own countries, I also sort of think that our projects are perhaps very small, because many youth organizations do not, and initiatives do not always get enough resources. So I'm also thinking about ways in which we're going to probably scale up and ensure we reach out to more young people in our countries. And then secondly, to thank Japan, the city of Okayama, and the hosts at UNESCO and the volunteers for the positive energy, for being such great hosts, for the warmth. I really enjoyed Osaka and watching the gardens in the middle of the city. I think Japan is walking the talk, and I'm very impressed. From that to not getting bottled water in the conference, I was also very impressed that we're actually walking the talk. And I really wish the organizers a great success, because we know that you did a lot of work to put this together. Thank you very much.
Thank you. My name is Nixon Otieno from Kenya. To the government of Japan and Goi Peace Foundation and UNESCO, thank you very much for having us here. To my fellow youth, thank you very much for your inspiration. I feel empowered to go on co-creating the model Nyakongo Sustainable Village after this session. Imagine it costs $100 million to transform an impoverished village of 800 households into a sustainable village. It takes 100,000 students in the universities with the same passion to change this village, mobilizing $1,000 within 5 years to make it a sustainable village. Together we can. I invite you all to join me in this vision to transform Nyakongo into a center of excellence for ESD within 5 years. God bless you as you go back.
For me, social work is not an easy way to go, and sustainable development is not an exception. And deep inside me, sometimes when I work in this field, I feel I the fear, and sometimes hopeless as well. And I came to this conference, so thankful for giving me the funny time, funny moment, good food, and and I have to be. Especially, I have to thank for you all for giving me inspiration and motivation to, keep moving forward, to come back to my country and, just keep moving forward. And I feel like, the aim, the goal that we can reach one day. Thank you. By the way, my name is Min from Vietnam.
Hello, everyone. My name is Haja. I'm from Morocco. One of the perks of being last that everything has been said, so I could just go with I agree and I'm done. But yeah, it's been quite an enriching journey so far, and I'm really eager to see what's next. And I'm really grateful for everybody that worked so hard for us to give us this opportunity to be here today and share our ideas and experiences. It's been really amazing. So thank you so much. Arigato. Thank you.
I'm very confident that this team will make a very big presence as youth in the Nagoya conference. And as I can see that some of you have already picked up detailed actions that you can take back home to implement in your project. And also, I'm hoping that concrete projects will come out. Some of them have already been discussed, and I'm sure that in this 1 week, other new projects will come up also. And by taking one action forward, this will lead to a very big inspiration towards the others, and each and one of us will be doing that. And lastly, I really would like to thank, we are honored and also grateful that Japan was able to host this, but it was not possible without each and every one of you. So, ありがとうございました. Thank you.
So I'm the last one, and
Masami said that we need to say something nice to finish. So it's quite interesting. So for me, I was listening to you and trying to see what's my checkout as I resonate, even though I don't work specifically on ESD. And I heard two things that were really interesting. One is, for me, the feeling of loneliness that you can have because you're in the forefront of the work that you do, and also the sense of responsibility of coming here and everything else. And when I'm listening about loneliness, I say, well, yeah, of course you feel lonely because you are running into places that people haven't been before. So by doing that, by being front runners, there will be times where you're going to find yourself alone and no one will be there or kind close to you. And my feeling of that is that's why we have friends. So this is a great opportunity in the work that I do from time to time to go and find out the crazy people that do the same thing. And the people come to me and say, well, this is crazy. So it's a courage to do something that for other people is not even imaginable. So to find those people, and if you look in this room, there's other 49 people. They have the same virus craziness thing about ESD, and that's someone who you can, at times of loneliness, and those times will come because there's always ups and there's always downs. So there will be times when you're going to be finding yourself a little bit lost, and that's normal. And that's the time to use that little like Skype technology and call one of the other person around the world and say, hey, so this is happening, and so we can turn to family, and then we can turn to this family when we're talking about ESD. So it's good to you have this space and many others, of course, but this is one space that could bring up this sense of I have someone that I can connect on my crazy level of this. I'm doing this, and I feel lonely when I'm back home sometimes. And that's something that eventually will happen. That's one thing. And the other one is responsibility. In being here, you feel responsible because you're receiving all this and all this opportunity from like 5,000 plus other people that could be here and they're doing wonderful work. So you're having this opportunity, and responsibility have kind of two sides that you can choose from. One is to see what you're responsible for as a burden. So it's something that you need to carry, and that's very heavy. Change the world is very heavy, and do everything by yourself is really heavy, and do big things, and it's also very heavy. On the other hand, you can see that as a blessing. So you've been blessed by the chance of doing the work that you do on this topic that you love, and you are developing everything that you are developing, and you find milestones of happiness and moments of loneliness, and all those times when you look and you see this responsibility as a blessing, look at this is a great opportunity that I'm taking, and I'm willing to re-engage that because I see energy coming. When you see things as blessings, the energy come to you. When you see things as burdens, energy goes away from you. So this is the way of seeing the responsibility that you're feeling as energy coming to you, so that can be moving forward. So I want to thank everyone for participating so fully into this, and I feel honored to be here as well. I'll be with some of you at the drafting committee tomorrow, and for everyone else, nice excursion and nice time in Nagoya. We're gonna have a final party day farewell, something at Koyama, so might be a chance to say hi a little bit close. Thank you very much, and
so thank you all for your words, and as organizers, it's very rewarding for all of us to hear those words from you, so thank you. While we stay in the circle, I would like to invite
into the circle, Assistant Director General for Education at UNESCO, Mr. Chen Tang, to join us from this end, and also Mr. Ibamoto, Wataru Ibamoto, Senior Advisor of MEXT, the core organizers, for some final remarks.
Stand or sit down?
Let's sit down.
You first, I first? Okay. I'm very happy to be here to this closing session. My colleague told me the discussion today here was really lively, and we got so many ideas, and also we see the commitment of you as the representative youth from many countries. I think I don't need to repeat what the Director General, Madame Bokova, said this morning when she opened. UNESCO think youth is as we say, is a leader today. So we see, because youth, you are the future of the world. When we're talking about the ESD, we're talking about our future generation who are going to lead the world, who has the concept of ESD, the concept of sustainable development. That's why we organize this in Japan as a side event for this big Nagoya conference next week. And also we invite all of you going to be there to let your voice be heard by the leaders, by the policymakers, by the ministers of education of all those countries. So that's exactly what we would like to see, because your voice is so important for the future of the world. That's why we are here. So we want to hear your voice, but not only here, we want your voice to be heard next week in Nagoya. We got about 80 ministers going to be there. They are the policymakers. They're going to talk about education, education for sustainable development in, let's say, next 10 years, 15 years. So that's so important for you to voice your concern and your wishes, and what's your vision of the tomorrow's world, which you can live together. We can live peacefully. Also, we can enjoy the sustainable life, sustainable development. So I'd like to thank you so much, okay, for all those, your commitment and your contribution particularly. Okay, it's not only just you are here, but also we learn from you. We learn from you your vision. And also want to, UNESCO is the, what we are doing is to set up a platform for the world and for the policymakers to hear what the society needs. Because education cannot be done by only education people, cannot be done by teachers themselves, and it cannot only be done by the ministers of education. But you are the youth. You are the what education really mean for. So that's why we need you here, and I need you in Nagoya. So let's push together with UNESCO, with you, and we will go back to your country with your friends, your colleagues, your fellow students, really to push the same direction. Like what UNESCO said, okay, we want you to really promote education for sustainable development, because we believe only education can do for the future generation, which you are the future generation. You are the representative of them. So we need you. So you are the driver of these efforts. UNESCO will only provide the platform for you, but that's you. You are the driver. You should fight. When you go back to your country, work together with your policymakers, with teachers, with politicians, and push this education for sustainable development for the future world and the future life. After all, the future of the world is yours. sooner or later you're going to take over. That'll be your future. So you're going to decide your future. So UNESCO is so happy to have this opportunity to have you here, to have you to voice your vision, your direction, your strategy, your wishes for the future. So today we finish this conference, but we're not going to finish here. We'll continue next week in Nagoya, but not only going to finish there, we'll continue after Nagoya. So next, we're talking about a post-2014 decade. After the decade, we really need, another, 10 years efforts. Then we can see what we can do in the future. Okay, so UNESCO will be with you all the time. And now I see you from different countries. You already set up your own network, I hope. So you know each other, you keep contact with each other. And in the future, now hopefully you can join your hands from different countries and push this ESD in your own country, in your own school, in your own societies, because you are going to be the leader of tomorrow. So all the best to you, and UNESCO really have a high hope on you, and I'm sure you will play your role, which is going to be essential for your future. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Iwamoto. I'm advisor to the Japanese Ministry of Education. Perhaps this morning you saw me rushing after the Vice Minister or Madame Bokova, but I'm not timekeeper. I'm rather initiator of this initiative. And since 3 years, I work very hard with Goi Peace Foundation to articulate this meeting together with the advice from Mrs. Sari Askar. Thanks. And thank you, dear all. And this morning, Ms. Bokova said, don't wait for us. Don't wait for the older generation. But you kindly wait for my arrival because I rushed from AST meeting. So, but without a joke. And as Mr. Tan said, you are the locomotive of a future generation. And the sustainability that always implies our efforts intergenerational. So the youngster is important, but especially for the sustainable development, the role of youth is very important to pass our message to the future generation. And the future generation should pass the following generation what is important for the human being or the biodiversity or for the globe. So therefore, although if you visit Egyptian pyramid already 5,000 years ago, there was inscription. The young people nowadays did such a silly thing, or ces garçons-là font toujours la bêtise. But this is in the past joke, and we need your cooperation, and we need your leadership. It's not only the admiration or diplomatic words. As ESD needs multi-stakeholders, it's not only teachers' monopoly. And we need a regional educational power, and we need youth entrepreneurship skills and youth initiative. That is the reason why this is not the final day. I encourage you to pass the message in Aichi Nagoya conference, and even after Aichi Nagoya conference, bring back our discussion, the fruit, to each countries and continue to discuss each other. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Mr. Tan. Thank you, Mr. Iwamoto. If you need to move on, but please feel comfortable to stay, whichever. Okay. So, in the closing, here's an invitation. As everybody has encouraged you, you have the next few days to travel to Nagoya and to continue to meet each other and build on some of the ideas that we have discussed. We as organizers have done our best to create a space for you to meet, but we know that 1.5 days is not long enough, and it's only a start. So it's really, from here on, is up to you. And on the final day of the Nagoya World Conference, we have reserved 1 hour during lunchtime for our final meeting for us to come back together again and share what you did in the past few days, and really before you start leaving for home to summarize what we've done, and if there's anything that we're going to take forward to talk about that too. And instead of us doing the space making for you, we want to give this job to you and solicit volunteers who would like to plan this 1 hour meeting. You can do whatever you like, but something for everybody. So would anybody like to raise their hands? Please stand up. Who would like to plan the final day? I mean, there's no limit. As many people would like to get involved can do this. Wow, wonderful. That's it? Okay, so remember who you are, and so I give this job to you to plan the final day. It's going to be lunchtime. We'll announce to you again what the exact time and place, but we'll come back together and do something wonderful. Thank you. So that comes to the close. And believe it or not, we're right on time, 5:30. So here we move on to the party that the Okayama City has arranged for us, and the volunteers will guide you again, and we'll all walk over together. So thank you again. It's been a wonderful time together, and we'll enjoy the evening together again. Thank you very much. Okay, so we can start moving, but just one logistic announcement.